Hello. Well, I'm back again. Well, let me check the schedule. Let me check the schedule or calendar for today. Hoy es jueves. 6 de mayo, no, junio de 2024. Today is Thursday, June 6th, 2024. The time now is 12:33. I was just in the middle of doing something. I was studying Spanish. I have been studying Spanish since early morning today. And I'm using this very good textbook I purchased or borrowed actually. I borrowed for free actually because I'm the member of Kindle Unlimited, and luckily the book was one of the books that I was able to borrow for free as a member of the Kindle Unlimited. I was quite lucky, and I started it as soon as I purchased it, and now I realized that this is the best textbook I have used so far. This book is written by a YouTuber who is an American guy named Mike Ben. I think the sound of his name is a bit confusing for me because both Ben and Mike sound like someone's first name, right? But this could happen, right? In Japanese too, like our Japanese names sometimes have both have names for both, like both surname and family name. No, family name and the surnames are the same, right? Both family name and the first name. I cannot give you any specific examples here on the spot, but yeah, it could happen to us too. So it's not totally extraordinary weird or something like that, but I just felt that way. Okay, and okay, never mind about his name. Okay, what I was talking about today was how excellent his textbook is for people who have learned Spanish for quite some time, who have already the basic knowledge of Spanish, but never used their Spanish when outputting. I mean, like myself, I've read a lot of Spanish books, and I've listened to a lot of YouTube videos. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos spoken in Spanish, whether it be videos for beginners or videos made for people who are learning Spanish, or real dramas, real materials like the ones that I have been watching these days, which is called Lo que las mujeres calladas. I forgot the real name, but it's like the translation of the title to English is like something that women don't speak about or something like that, okay? It's a drama. It's a series of drama originated from some countries in Latin America. Originated from some Latin American countries like where? I forgot the name. Okay, Mexico. Okay. And it's a very interesting drama, but since it's a real material for native Spanish speakers, Spanish used in the drama is not as easy to catch than those YouTube videos made specifically for people who are learning Spanish. So their conversations sound more natural and more difficult to catch. But a surprising thing happened to me just several days ago. I never watched the dramas again until several days ago, because I stopped watching the drama actually some time ago, like 6 months ago or so, because it was a bit too difficult for me still. The reason for it is something that I have just mentioned a little while ago, though. It was too difficult for me. The speed of the conversation is very fast, and I couldn't catch as much as I wished I could. And I seldom watched or saw the subtitles, so I just kept listening to it while doing something else, and I didn't think that would be very effective for my listening practice, because if you want to listen to something, in order to improve your listening skills, you really need to have the subtitles or scripts so that you can understand what's going on. Otherwise, your listening practice cannot be as effective as you wish it to be. But when it comes to the drama, the real life drama, or that drama, okay, that I was talking about, I'm now talking about. When I was watching the drama, I never used subtitles, and I stopped doing the practice, or I completely stopped using the drama to improve my listening skills, and I switched to other videos on YouTube, which were easier for me to understand. But I got bored with those ones, and people need something else for a change, right? From time to time, even though at first they believed that this is going to be the best material for me. And several days ago, I started watching the drama again, and I was just curious to see if how much my listening skills have improved. And I was quite surprised when I watched the drama for the first time in 6 months or so, because I was able to listen to or catch more clearly what they were talking about. I couldn't understand everything. It's not that I understood everything, but still I was actually catching what they were talking about or what they were speaking. Their lines more clearly, and to the point where I was about to assume as if the dramas were made for language learning. I mean, for people specifically learning Spanish. So at first, when I first tried to watch the dramas more than 6 months ago, the dramas sounded like only for native speakers. But now I quite enjoy watching the dramas, that series, because I'm now able to catch more clearly what they speak in them, and I can follow the story, what's going on, even though I can't understand everything. So my listening skills have improved to the point where I can enjoy the drama, the series, quite much. And I'm very happy about it. And where was I actually? I tend to go off on a tangent very quickly, very often, very frequently, and I tend to lose the track of my thought, which makes it sound like I'm crazy, right? And anyway, Mike Ben, which I don't know. Mike Ben's Spanish textbook is excellent. I love it so much. And he says something in his book that he says, like, he made the textbook and he is not a Spanish native speaker, right? He's an American guy who have studied Spanish for the last 3 years or so. That's short amount of time. I can't believe how much his Spanish has improved in such a short time. When it comes to my Spanish learning history, at first, when I first started studying Spanish, it was more than 10 years ago, and I studied for some time, and I stopped studying, and then I started studying Spanish again after a long period of time, and I soon stopped studying because I couldn't see my improvements very quickly. So I was impatient. I was not patient enough to continue studying Spanish until I was able to see the results. Okay, and it happens, right? It happens to many people who are studying foreign languages, right? And I'm not an exception, I guess. But okay, anyway. So that's why I was quite surprised when I heard Mike Ben say that he has just studied Spanish for 3 years or so, but he has almost mastered, or completely mastered his spoken Spanish in such a short time. And since he's an American, since he's not a native Spanish speaker, he understands what all those books written by native Spanish speakers might miss. And when I started using his textbook, and now I believe that his book is the best of all. One of the reasons I feel this way is that he uses very effective method. He uses very effective ways of improving our usage of the language that we cannot improve only by reading a lot. Okay, many people or many polyglots or many people who have mastered or who have tried learning a lot of languages, or I should say people who are good at learning foreign languages, say that it's very important to read a lot, listen a lot, no matter how much you don't understand. You don't have to understand everything, but it's important to keep listening, to keep reading as much as possible. And then you will get the feel of it, like children do. I think this is partly true and partly wrong when it comes to learning your foreign language from an adult. They might be true, but I can explain it properly 100% here because I will need so much time to explain all about it. But one of the reasons that makes me believe that his book is the best is that he uses the best, the most effective way of practicing our knowledge of our target language. I can explain it in English precisely on the spot because this is my second language, and if it was my native language, which is Japanese, I could do this faster. But okay, anyway, in his textbook there are tons of practices, okay, and he only uses very simple and basic verbs, and he picks up only one verb at a time to practice the verb by repeating so many times. Okay, in this way, you can just understand. It helps you understand the verb very deeply from various aspects. Okay, and this is not the way that other textbooks written by native Spanish speakers. I forgot the first part of this sentence, so I can't continue this sentence, and I cannot end this sentence because I lost the track of explaining this something using this sentence. So, but other textbooks don't use this method very often. I can say that all the textbooks don't use this method because I cannot try all the textbooks out there, right? So when it comes to textbooks I have used, I don't think any textbooks uses the same method as he does. Most textbooks have problems problems, no, practices, yeah, of course, but they only use many verbs, okay, many more verbs at the same time, so that we can pick one from the list of all those various kinds of verbs. It can be helpful when we want to understand the meaning of each word, but it's like a flashcard, okay? It's like a flashcard. But when it comes to the textbook published by Mike Ben, he uses only one verb, and he teaches us how to use the verb correctly and he gives many practices so that we can completely understand how to use that word, okay, and then moves on to the next verb. And then there are some practices. There aren't as many as 10 practices. Each verb only has 7 or 8 practices, but that's enough at least, okay. And most of the time, he gives us translation practices from English to Spanish and Spanish to English, okay. This book is written in English because he's an American guy, and I use this textbook because I don't want to use any textbook explained in Japanese because I think it's a waste of time. I want to improve not only Spanish but also English, and this is a very good opportunity for me if I use textbook written in English. This is going to be my very good opportunity to improve my reading skills and also speaking skills, because textbooks is written in very simple and very logical way of the language, right? And then when I want to improve my speaking skills, just by reading the explanations written in English, I can understand how to explain things in English. So that's why, for me, there is no use using any kind of Spanish textbooks written in Japanese, my native tongue. It's a total waste of time for me. So by using his textbook, I already have some basic knowledge of Spanish, right? But I only did passive practices like reading and listening, right? But when I try to translate something from English to Spanish, I realized that I had to use totally different part of my brain. And when I just listen to something or watch something passively, I never used this part. And this actually activated my Spanish greatly. And at first, I wasn't feel comfortable translating even very simple sentences like the fish is the fish is cold, or even I am someone, my name is something, or something like that, because I never did that actively. And I tried to write all those English sentences and Spanish translations on the notebook in my hand, so that I can practice translating them later. And I do it on a daily basis. And I know that even though it was difficult at first, by doing it many times every day on a daily basis, I'm sure that it's becoming easier and easier. And in the end, it will have become very, very easy. And that's how I learned by practicing my piano and the guitar. As I said in my previous videos, very recent videos, I started practicing both piano and the guitar again, and it's been about 2 or 3 months already. And day by day, I can realize that I'm improving. And this is very, very encouraging to lead my life, because at the age of 60, no matter how old you are, by practicing something every day, spending even a small portion of time practicing, you can improve anything if you love it so much, okay? The motivation is the key, and when you are, in order for you to be motivated enough, you have to love something that you are doing. This is the first priority, though. And if you have something that you have been dreaming of doing, but have never realized it yet, I recommend you start it right now, because life is short and you never know when it will end. You might feel that your life will last forever, right? No, it's not. You never know what happens the next, right? So I strongly recommend you do something you have been dreaming of, because life is short. And once you start, you will be surprised that anything can improve from any time. Okay, and I've been there and I've done that, so I'm now 100% confident that even though translating Spanish from English is quite difficult and troublesome for me to do, which takes time, it'll be easier. It'll get easier eventually if I continue to do this every day. I'm confident about it, and I believe in my potential. And this Ben's book draws your potential. This is the book that draws your potential. If you have studied Spanish for a certain amount of time, but you are still not good at outputting, like speaking or writing, okay, if you are someone like this, I recommend you try this book, and you'll be surprised how effective this textbook is. And most important thing at this stage for you to do is to try not to express yourself in Spanish freely yet. It's still too early. All you need to do at this stage, you understand lots of Spanish sentences, and you can read Spanish books, even though some vocabularies are still difficult for you to understand. You can just use dictionary. You can use a dictionary to understand the meaning of those unknown words, but it can be okay for you to read Spanish books, and then but still it's too early for you to start expressing yourself freely, because even though you understand sentences, a lot of Spanish sentences, but it's still too early for you to make your own sentences because you don't understand what is correct and what is not. Okay, and if you start expressing yourself at this stage, it will be very difficult for you to make the correct sentence. So you refer to a dictionary very often, and still you don't know what is correct and what is wrong, what is unnatural. And it often happens that the sentences you created can be unnatural, wrong, or something like that. Okay, at this stage, you need to read lots of correct sentences, and you try to memorize or you try to translate English into Spanish, and then the answer you can watch the answers, right? You can see the answers, right? And those sentences are correct, right? And then you need to refer to those correct sentences all the time. Okay. You cannot make your own sentences yet. And the next important thing is that you memorize not the whole sentence. You shouldn't memorize the whole sentences, but you should memorize small chunks. Okay, like this is the way I always do when I try to do the practices in Max Ben's textbook. I wrote the entire sentence, right? And later on, I look at the textbook and I try to translate the sentences again, right? To see how much I can understand this time. And if I'm wrong, I try to correct my mistakes, and I try to learn the correct way of saying it, right? And then I don't try to memorize the whole sentence. Instead, I try to memorize the chunks, like so that I can use them separately here and there later when I try to make my own sentences. It's still too early for me to do that, but now all I can do is to memorize all those small chunks, like in the store. Okay, if the whole sentence has this phrase in the store, then I don't remember separately, like in and the and store. No, this doesn't work at all. But when I combine all those words to make it in the store, then I can use this chunk in a different sentence, right? So that's why I use the entire chunk, not the entire sentence, but I try to memorize, or I try to get used to all those chunks. Okay, I pay attention to all those chunks so that I can use that block when I try to make my own sentence in the future. So by using these chunks, okay, his sentences, okay, Mike Ben's textbooks, the 10 sentences in Mike Ben's textbook are quite long, okay, and complex, but still, each sentence consists of such small chunks that you can use in other sentences, okay? Using this system, his even longer sentences or his practices with long sentences can be very simple and easy, and it's really fun, okay, because I can use the knowledge that I have accumulated so far, but never have the opportunity to use them just by reading something or listening something. Yeah, such a thing was very, very helpful when I was listening to something, when I was watching something in Spanish, because it's knowledge. But when it comes to when you have to output something, you can just use that chunks, okay, and make it simple. And so that's why the more I do his practices, the easier it gets, and it's fun. Because it's fun, I cannot stop doing it, because the more I do it, the more interesting it can become, and the more interesting I can find it. So that's why I recommend his book. If you are someone who have studied, quote and unquote, studied Spanish for such a long time, but you're still not good at speaking or writing, it's the best book for you to use at this stage. But his book doesn't cover all the grammar, but his book covers the very basics. So if you can finish his book, if you finish this book quite comfortably, then you can go on to the next step, and your level must be improved. You can go on to the next stage, go up to the next stage, and I'm looking forward to it. And this is the reason why I find Mike Penn's textbook is the best. So that's what I wanted to talk about, and I'm not really sure if I was able to say it clearly enough so that you can understand, because I didn't prepare anything beforehand before recording this one, and this is actually my speaking practice, okay? This is my daily English speaking practice. So this practice is the place where I understand how much I can do and how much I can't, and where I should correct, and where I can improve more. So it doesn't matter if I can't do this 100% okay. But I always listen to my recording again later to learn where I should make better. And yeah, it's a good practice. And I'm so hungry now, so I'll go back to my housework, and I'll be back tomorrow, maybe, depending on my mood, though I cannot promise. But speaking something in English on a daily basis is very important for me to improve my speaking skills, and this is the best opportunity for me to do it. So, okay, thanks for listening, and maybe I'll be back some other time. Okay, look forward to it. And if you are an enthusiastic language learner like myself, I really wish you luck. Okay, I wish you luck. Okay, thank you for listening. Have a great day. Bye.